At first glance, it's hard to believe this picture-perfect village with all these thatched cottages was built just a couple of centuries ago when a whole community was uprooted and moved here. Find out why and where I am in just a moment. Today's property search is all about having the right outlook. That's what this house is about.
Yes.
That picture.
Yeah. We asked for a sea view, but didn't think you'd find it. So how you did it, I don't know.
But will we be able to find our home hunters the dream location for a country retirement?
I feel quite emotional about it. It's really, really fabulous.
It's a great start. Today I'm in Dorset and this is the village of Milton Abbas. It was built in the 1770s by the Earl of Dorchester, who brought on board the famous landscape designer Lancelot Capability Brown and the architect Sir William Chambers. But this was no great philanthropic mission. The Earl actually moved the village here from its original spot nearby because it was spoiling the view from his newly built mansion. So he completely demolished it and created this village here over the hill and out of sight. That said, the end result certainly possesses that authentic Dorset character that you'll find in many places across the county. Dorset is found on the south coast of England and is bordered by Hampshire to the east, Wiltshire to the north, and Somerset and Devon to the west. Its 95 miles of coastline offer striking geological features such as Durdle Door, a natural limestone arch thought to be named from the Old English word thurl, meaning to pierce or bore. Man-made coastal landmarks include the Cobb at Lyme Regis, a curved stone pier which has formed a harbour since at least 1313. Close to the town of Bridport, a near conical sandstone hill is eye-catchingly topped by a smattering of pine trees. Indeed, hills are very much a feature of the landscape here, where fertile pastures have made an ideal sheep farming location, providing trade in both wool and meat. Dorset is also rich in ecclesiastical buildings, although its religious history is rather more turbulent than the serenity of the resultant architecture. The village of Chiddock was once known for clandestine Catholic worship after the Civil War. In the late 16th century, 4 local Catholics, now known as the Chiddock Martyrs, were tried in the village and consequently executed in the county. The World Memorial Chapel is an important landmark in the story of Catholic emancipation. So whether it's picture postcard towns and villages, wild coastlines or local history, Dorset really does offer a great choice for those seeking a country escape. All of this beauty and history does, of course, come at a price. The average cost of a detached home here in Dorset is around £321,000. That's about £55,000 above the national figure. That does include the super expensive sandbanks near Poole, where price tags are routinely in their millions. As a general rule of thumb, if you move away from coastal hotspots, your money will go that little bit further, especially if you move towards the north of the county. So, which parts of Dorset are today's buyers inspired to move to? Let's meet them and find out. Life has been an adventure for Diana and Jonathan from Burgess Hill, Sussex, since they first got together over 3 decades ago.
We met when Jonathan was in the police force and I was a stewardess. After knowing each other for 10 days, we decided to get married, and that was 33 years ago.
Yes.
I think excitement sums up our relationship and our life together. We are quite impulsive. We're very impulsive.
As well as packing in plenty of around-the-world travel, Diana and Jonathan also had 2 sons. Now the couple are in their mid-60s and their kids have moved away to have families of their own. But life hasn't stopped with retirement, particularly for former police officer Jonathan, who's become a published author.
My writing, I started about 5 years ago. Crime thriller, based, using my experience. I'm on my 3rd book at the moment.
But that's not all Diana and Jonathan are seeking. They're also looking for more new experiences and want to move away from their hometown of 23 years to start a new life in more rural surroundings.
We are enclosed on the edge of an estate with a main road 50 yards away. There is a constant noise, there's a constant traffic jam, there is a building going on. Every day there is someone nearby drilling, cutting down a tree or hedge cutting.
We would like somewhere that had just that little bit of extra space, a little bit quieter, a little bit more of a view.
And there's one part of the country in particular that's calling them.
An area that we really do like and we've visited and travelled through quite a bit is West Dorset. I think it's a very pretty area. It's got fascinating history. The coastline is quite dramatic. Even during the summer, out on the headlands, it's got that little bit of wildness about it.
What's drawing me to West Dorset is the relaxed pace of life. I like the scenery. I like the fact that the sea's there. I think there's a lot of energy going on there. It's becoming an interesting, lively place as well as a peaceful place. I feel quite at home in that area. I think I could settle down there.
Of course, settling down for this energetic duo doesn't really mean putting their feet up.
I'll want to take up sailing, maybe get a small boat to go up and down rivers or that type of thing.
I want to meet new people, perhaps running a sewing group there.
I think we'll turn out to be very busy.
I think so.
We'll be busy.
And although the move means leaving behind the location of many happy memories, they know there are plenty of new ones to look forward to.
It will be sad because we have been happy and we've got lots of friends, but they'll have to come and visit us.
Diana and Jonathan want to concentrate their search in the southwest of the county, close to the coast between Bridport and the Devon border. But before we start our house hunt, I want to know more about the type of home they're hoping to find here. Diana and Jonathan, welcome to Dorset.
Thank you very much.
Is it those fabulous sea views that are attracting you to this county?
The sea views, the countryside, the way of life, yes, yeah.
It really does have a little bit of everything.
It's got
here.
everything, and it's just so peaceful, yet there's that vibrancy that you get next to the sea.
What do you want from the house itself?
We're looking for somewhere bright and airy. We'd probably like 3 bedrooms, and we'd like a room where I could do my sewing. You could perhaps do your writing.
That's really quite important.
The view's most important to us, and the location.
So location-wise, what sort of setting would you like?
I'd like a view, proximity to the sea, and not too far away from a town.
Is there anything you both don't want?
I think for experience, thatched cottage.
Yeah, agree, really. That's probably, I say, a thatch. I don't really want a thatch.
And remind me of your budget?
Go ahead.
Well, we said that our budget is 500,000.
OK.
We could just go a little bit above that if we needed to.
I like hearing that because it is a popular county,
Yes.
of course. So it's always nice to know that you might have a little bit extra.
Yes, yeah.
And we have got some fantastic properties already waiting for you.
Oh, lovely.
So let's get going.
Lovely, thank you very much.
For a budget of £500,000, but some leeway if necessary, Diana and Jonathan are looking for a bright and airy property with a minimum of 3 bedrooms. They'd like a sewing room for Diana, as well as a separate space for Jonathan to write. The location is important and should offer them views, as well as proximity to the coast and a town. And while they are flexible over style, neither of them is keen on thatched houses. We've got an exciting variety of homes to present, and at each one, I'll be asking them to guess the price before I reveal it. And our final property will be the mystery house, which may be a naughty choice, but could turn out to be surprisingly nice. But before that, we're off to view house number 1. Our property search is kicking off just a 5-minute drive from Charmouth Beach, in the small village of Morecambe Lake. With its outlook across rolling fields to the sea, it's a great starting point for several walks. The village is home to the savoury Dorset knob biscuit, made here since late Victorian times. Amenities include a post office and store, as well as a farm shop. Our first house is idyllically located just a 5-minute walk away. This is our first property, the house on the hill.
That's just lovely, isn't it?
Isn't that gorgeous?
Absolutely gorgeous, the trees and...
So this is the location you were looking for?
Oh, yes.
Am I right?
Yeah, lovely.
Yep.
It really is lovely.
Do we need to go in? I mean, look, the house is ideal already.
It's ticking a lot of boxes already.
It's lovely, yeah. Really nice.
Let's see if the inside charms you.
Location
Yes,
charms.
lovely.
This hillside home was originally built in the 1930s, but has been fully renovated by the current owners over the past decade. The property is accessed via a decked frontage with French doors that lead straight into the large country kitchen. Come in.
Wow.
It's a really good sized kitchen,
Yep.
nice and light. And you come straight in, so the balcony is part of the kitchen.
Yeah.
Absolutely, so you can throw open the doors. That's your little champagne balcony.
Yep. Oh, I think it's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah,
Beautiful.
really,
Yeah, it's really
really
good.
lovely.
You've got a conservatory just through there, which again makes use of the views.
Yeah.
You've got a really lovely sized utility room, so this isn't where everything is. So even as you're washing
It's so light and bright.
It's got a lovely feel to it, really lovely feel.
Really.
So you can imagine yourself relaxing in here.
Absolutely.
Actually.
Yeah, I can actually. It's really.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah.
And the two doors that you can see there are bedrooms.
Oh.
Yes, so they're matching bedrooms. They've
Yes.
each got a working fireplace
wow.
in each of the bedrooms. Both can fit double beds in. So really, those are your guest rooms.
Yes, lovely.
Yeah.
Let me show you your bedroom though.
Thank you.
A really heartening reaction to the welcoming spaces on offer in this beautifully located home. But there's even more to impress Jonathan and Diana upstairs, where the converted loft space is entirely devoted to the master accommodation, with its own dressing room and ensuite, featuring a modern bathtub and separate shower. Up here, you've got your own private suite, really.
Wow.
I like the lightness, it's really bright. Look at the views across there.
Diana, you could wake up to that view.
Wow. That is like a picture. It's absolutely lovely.
This floor is your own, not really for guests, unless in the future you chose to stay in the bedrooms on the ground floor. It's a perfect house for a couple in
It
there.
is.
Yeah, it
yes,
is.
it is.
Perfect.
I like the way they shape the ceiling to get the light in.
Yeah.
It's
Beautifully
done it
done.
really nicely.
Great. Let's go see what else is in store. Can you lead us
Right.
back out to the garden? Well, the interior has delivered everything Diana and Jonathan had hoped for. And I don't think the outside will disappoint. Extensive gardens boast many mature shrubs and trees, plus outbuildings, including a former housekeeper's annex with recently lapsed planning permission. Subject to a fresh application, it could be turned into extra guest accommodation, or they could use it as a writing or sewing space. There's also a large paddock, currently kept in check by the owner's small flock of sheep. So you've got 3/4 of an acre, really.
That's a joy.
Yeah.
I like gardening. I like working outside.
So, what would this beautiful house cost you?
Well, I would say certainly top end. So I would say 525.
I'm not going to argue too much with that. I'll be optimistic and go 520.
It's actually on the market for just under your budget, £499,950.
Good gracious. Unbelievable. It's just absolutely gorgeous. I feel quite emotional about it. It's really, really fabulous.
It's a great start.
Yeah.
Go and have another look around now that you know the price.
Yep.
Okay.
And I'll meet you up front in a bit.
All right,
All right,
thank you
thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you very much.
Coming in slightly under budget, this hillside property has everything our buyers want from their new home in the country. The 3 double bedrooms include a master suite on the entire upper floor. Plus there's a large kitchen diner and spacious sitting room, as well as wonderful countryside views from almost every room. The large plot gives keen gardener Jonathan plenty to work with, and an annex offers potential as a writing or sewing room.
It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, really.
Again, it's an extension of the house into the garden. Everything's joined up. It's really lovely.
Yeah, gorgeous. The house inside, lovely open plan, beautifully done, nice soft wood everywhere. I wouldn't want to change anything. I think it's really gorgeous.
I think the views were our #1 priority, quite honestly, and it's beautifully situated. The rooms are so nicely done. It feels as though the outside and inside are almost joined together.
Beaming smiles, that's what I like to see. I don't think we could have asked for a better start to our house hunt.
No,
Absolutely not.
no. It really does tick all the boxes. It's lovely. Really is lovely.
Great, can't ask for more than that. Let's go.
Thank you.
The fertile lands of Dorset have a long tradition of food production, but historically they were also an important source of clothing. Arable and livestock farming supported the making of lace and wool, whilst the county's sheep also provided discs of horn to be turned into early cloth-covered buttons. In the 17th century, button making really took off here when an English soldier returning from battles in Europe realised the growing popularity of buttoned clothing and set up a commercial makers in the town of Shaftesbury. And that's where we're sending Jonathan and keen seamstress Diana. They're meeting local button maker and historian Anna McDowell to find out about this Dorset form of haberdashery.
Hello and welcome to Shaftesbury.
Thank you very much.
You're now visiting the birthplace of the Dorset button industry. So I understand you're a sewer?
I am indeed.
Why don't we go into the Gold Hill Museum and have a look?
Lovely. Thank you very much.
With women typically able to earn more from making buttons from home than from working on the land, it was a popular endeavour that supported many families for around 200 years. Gold Hill Museum has several examples of the different designs produced over that time.
As you can imagine, there are a lot of other people making buttons, especially thread buttons, which is basically what a Dorset button is. Up in Macclesfield, you had the silk buttons, you had button makers in London, but here in Dorset, we're unique because our buttons are actually made originally with linen fabric.
Oh.
And also the natural sheep's horn. But the original buttons were the high tops and the Dorset knobs, which you can see a little Dorset knob in here. The flatter button, they say, was more undergarments.
Was it just the women at home that made the buttons?
No, the children would have been involved. These buttons here, they're made from a wire ring, and small boys were used to dip the wire to seal them. And there would have been the men. They were agents and used to sell the buttons. It was actually a very well-organised industry or business.
These handmade thread buttons were to provide a viable income for many Dorset families until the middle of the 19th century, when machines capable of doing the job much faster and more cheaply cut the cottage industry dead. But just a short distance from the museum, Anna is bringing the old-fashioned techniques back to life in her workshop.
I thought we'd have a go at just doing something simple, a larger version of one of these.
And you call that a simple one, do you?
Yes, that is a simple cartwheel button.
Lovely.
As there are no written records of how the original buttons were made, Anna has had to work the methods out for herself, starting with measuring out the thread.
3 lengths.
Yep.
Like that.
Yep. It's the old-fashioned yard.
It is the old-fashioned yard.
Next, the thread is used to cover a small metal ring with a series of blanket stitches.
Throw the thread over the back of your hand
Yep.
and you form a loop,
Yep.
right? You're going to put the needle through that loop.
The most difficult thing is it keeps getting tangled up, or it's just me.
Go through the loop, the centre of the ring, and pull it tight.
It's not as easy as it looks.
No, it's not.
It now takes Anna around 40 minutes to make a single button. But in the 1730s, women workers were earning around 2 shillings a day, with averages of 6 or 7 dozen buttons.
I was told that a local farmer at harvest time said he couldn't get the women to help at the harvest because they could actually earn more making buttons than they could on the land.
Once the ring is tightly covered with the blanket stitching, Anna creates an effect like the spokes of a wheel by taking turns around the entire button.
Sometimes I put more spokes, sometimes I put in less spokes.
And then draws these all together with a crossed stitch at the centre.
Now watch this.
Oh, how clever.
Finally, a back stitch is used over each of the spokes to cover the gaps.
Eventually, you'll fill up the button. Right, we're nearly there. And you've got something like that.
Oh,
Gracious. It looks really lovely.
it's fabulous. It looks like a really intricate spider's web.
There you have it, a Dorset button.
It's lovely. Thank you very much indeed. It's really lovely.
Well, why did you take that home?
That's fabulous,
And then
yes.
take those two you've been working on and finish them off.
Thanks very much
Thank you,
indeed for
and
showing
good luck.
us.
It's been wonderful to see a cottage craft being revived in its original surroundings. But for now, we'll have to wait to get our buyer's property search all sewn up when we continue with the house hunt tomorrow. Diana and Jonathan from Burgess Hill, West Sussex have a budget of £500,000 to find their dream home near the coast of West Dorset. We've already shown them some tantalising property, but there's still more to look at, and our mystery house may just confound expectations.
What a pleasant surprise.
Take it all back. It's really bright.
Yes.
Yeah.
Plus, I get back to basics with a pair of printmakers who left London life for the rural delights of Dorset.
It's caveman technology. It's not that difficult, really.
We have two more properties to view today. Later on, we'll be visiting our mystery house, which gives me the opportunity to show Diana and Jonathan something they'd never have gone to see themselves. But first, we have another house to look at, and this one really makes the most of being by the coast. For our next house, we're walking distance from the sea in the historic market town of Bridport. Used as the basis for Port Bredy in Thomas Hardy's fictional Wessex, it has a lively art scene as well as a broad selection of shops and services. Within the town's boundary, West Bay features spectacular cliff walks and sandy beaches. The next house enjoys this magnificent coastal outlook from less than a mile away. We're starting our tour at the rear of the property, where the seaside setting is really maximised. Now, as you both do want to live by the coast, here's a house by the sea.
Oh.
Bringing you in this way, you really get to
get the view.
appreciate
Yeah, you
the
do.
views, which is
Yeah.
what you're
Yes.
after and what you've requested, really.
Yes.
What do you think about the house itself?
Good size, nice windows.
Immediately, I see those big glass doors, which is showing us the view again. They're making the most of it.
Let's go in.
Lovely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Built in 1936, this seaside home was given a two-storey extension to the front by the current owners in 2013. A conservatory entrance to the side of the property takes us through to this newer section of the home and the large kitchen diner.
Really good size,
Really nice.
bright. I like the fixtures and the fittings, and they look good.
Yep. Loads
Looks
of
like
cupboards.
it's been nicely done.
Would this
Yeah.
kind of space work for you in the way
Yes.
that you
Yeah.
live?
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is the front of the house. Let's go to the view side of the
Yeah,
house.
lovely.
Back at the rear of the property, past a useful downstairs cloakroom, the spacious reception room has sliding patio doors to soak up the setting. This used to be 2 rooms. It works well as a big room, really.
Really good sized room, log burning stove.
That's
Nice,
lovely, isn't it?
bright.
Really.
And the views are really
Gorgeous
aren't
there.
they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Lovely.
with huge, huge doors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels like a lovely Dorset picture
Yeah.
Yes.
there, doesn't it?
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
Let's go higher because,
Okay.
of course, that sea view can only get better. Jonathan and Diana barely dared to wish for a view of the sea, but the one on offer from this immaculate detached home is certainly winning them over. Upstairs, there are 4 bedrooms. The 2 smallest rooms are located in the top floor of the front extension, both with single beds. Then to the rear of the property, a large double enjoys that coastal outlook. The family bathroom provides a roll-top bath and separate shower. And then, also to the rear of the property, bedroom number 4 is the master ensuite. You could have next door as a master, but this had the space for the ensuite.
Yeah, and you've got the view. Oh, it's
Yes.
lovely, isn't it? Yeah, really.
That's what this
yeah.
house is about.
Yes.
Yeah.
yes.
Picture.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
And lovely big windows to show it off.
If that's what you want, this is the place to go for.
We asked for a sea view, but didn't think you'd find it. So how you did it, I don't know.
And you've got the hills as
Yeah.
well, so
Yes.
you've got everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice and decorated.
Yeah.
I like the colours, and it's just no decorating.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm really impressed. It's lovely. Really, really lovely.
Yeah.
The appeal of this home seems to be growing stronger and stronger. Outside to the front of the property is a block-paved driveway with parking for several cars. A garage is found at the rear and is reached via a service road. What's more, it has planning permission to be redeveloped, so could provide options for their creative pastimes. There's also a greenhouse and small vegetable patch, as well as a raised terrace and an ample lawn from which to enjoy the views across to the bay. I think this garden is a bit of a blank canvas for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And actually, not a bad place to be working, is it?
No.
Yeah, it needs work doing. But then you've got the
Really?
location, of course, which is, again, what we asked for. Views,
Yes.
but close to West Bay, so...
How much is this property on the market for? How much is that sea view going to cost you?
Again, it's got to be top end. An optimistic 515.
Okay.
Still some garden to be done. I'm going to be really optimistic and can go for 495.
You both are being very optimistic. It is actually on the market for £540,000.
Is it really?
So I know I've been naughty by going over budget, but you did say that you might have a little bit extra over the £500,000. And there's always room to negotiate. 540 is
Yeah.
the guide price.
Yes.
OK.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Go and have another look around.
Okay,
Lovely.
thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
The asking price of this detached coastal home may be over budget, but it does fulfil that dream of a sea view. There's a total of 4 bedrooms. That's one more than requested, so plenty of scope for hobby rooms. The property has a large kitchen diner, as well as a good-sized reception room, with space to entertain the whole family. The gardens give Jonathan options for a project, and the garage could potentially be turned into a writer's den.
The first impression was nice, big, bright, light, airy house. Really attractive. South-facing, walking distance to the sea.
Location, absolutely lovely. The views out southwards really does take the eye.
I would hope there'd be room for negotiation because I'm definitely interested. Yeah, it's definitely up there. You've made life difficult for us.
I'm afraid I will need to drag you both away from the gorgeous view, as we still have the mystery house to go.
Yep, OK.
Our property hunt is
Lovely.
not over.
Thank you very
See what else
much.
you've got up your sleeve.
Dorset's beautiful land and seascapes have long been a source of artistic inspiration. Turner was a frequent visitor, painting several sunsets at Poole Harbour, while the brush of Constable captured rain clouds over Weymouth Bay, along with many pastoral scenes. It's a draw that continues to this day. A decade ago, creative couple Cameron Short and Janet Tristram chucked in their London lives and careers in advertising and retail to move to the county and pursue more artistic paths. Settling in Thorncombe, they turned abandoned premises into a home and studio for themselves and their 3 young daughters. Now working as handmade printmakers, they're building a reputation for uniquely captivating work, inspired by their Dorset setting and local folklore. I want to find out about the appeal of the area
Hello, Sonali.
and why it's such an attractive location for those seeking creative fulfilment. What persuaded you to move away from London? Many people wanting to get into this business would have been tempted to stay there. What made you come to Dorset?
Yeah, well, I got to a stage of my career as a copywriter where I just kind of had enough. And so I'd be carving away, whittling at night, thinking about designs.
And we've found our way through trial and error, but the things that we do as a family naturally are imbued into the imagery. So it might be the walks we do, the animals we see in the area.
All that stuff does lend itself beautifully to creating imagery. Our life in the countryside now does influence our work. There's a lot that I get stirred by even now. And the pace of life suits us. It's very relaxed. People are very friendly. So we feel very much at home here.
Janet and Cameron now create designs that they work onto cushions, lampshades, wallpaper and furniture, as well as limited edition prints. But it's about more than simply creating aesthetically pleasing objects. There's a depth of statement contained within. Tell me about this one.
Ode to the Ash. Well, that particular print, I heard about the crisis with ash dieback, and I wanted to do something that celebrated the tree and maybe educated people when they looked at it about how important the tree had been in our history and our culture.
Cameron's really using storytelling, and there's certain vignettes within the overall design, so you can kind of lose yourself in what is a repeat pattern. For instance, if it was in a child's room, they can daydream away looking at the little bits and pieces within the image.
The process starts by carving away the parts of the design that will remain ink-free into a lino-covered woodblock.
It's caveman technology. It's not that difficult, really.
A tacky linseed-based ink is applied to a plain glass surface and rolled out until it's the texture of suede.
Just push the ink. Really nice.
There's something very therapeutic about this. Next, the ink is transferred from the glass to the carved wood block with the roller. It's a manual process that creates natural imperfections.
You know that it's been done by hand because each print is going to be unique. Not totally perfect, but that's what gives it its life.
Now for Cameron and Janet's early 20th century proofing press to be put into action.
You've got the handle here which will move the cylinder across the bed of the press and apply the pressure, and this thing here that you can alter the pressures.
The paper is carefully laid over the inked block.
Once it's down, you can't move it. Don't even breathe.
And protective felts are put on top before adjusting the pressure.
About there should do it.
Then the cylinder is brought across the design, a little like a mechanical rolling pin.
Just roll it across gently. Just
Give it some
like this.
willy.
Yeah, we probably did that a bit quickly, but it's not going to matter.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Finally, the felts and paper are peeled back, revealing the image.
Oh my gosh.
You see nightjars, moths and a lantern.
My gosh,
Okay.
I want to take that home and frame it.
You can,
May I?
of course you can, yeah.
Thank you. What a wonderful memento of the natural details true artists like Cameron and Janet observe in their surroundings. Stepping into their world has given me a fresh insight into the creative energy that Dorset has to offer. What do you think I have up my sleeve for the mystery property?
I really don't know. You've surprised us so far. I can only think, although we said we would prefer not to, perhaps you've got a thatched property?
So remind me why you don't like thatched?
We didn't want the upkeep of the thatch, and normally they're very small and not light and airy.
You might end up loving the mystery. The mystery offering takes us back to Morecambe Lake, just a short drive from the seaside village of Charmouth. Known as the gateway to the Jurassic coast, there's a gently shelving beach below striking cliffs, often yielding fossils. Amenities include cafes and eateries, medical services, a post office and a traditional butcher's. Our mystery house nestles in the surrounding countryside of Morecambe Lake, a couple of miles away.
How do we know? About how pretty is that?
And you did know, didn't you?
Yeah.
So I'm afraid
Oh.
my mystery house wasn't as much of a mystery as it should have been because you completely guessed.
Oh, but how pretty is that? And what a lovely setting. Wow.
Actually, it looks really nice.
It's a really nice house.
I know you said no thatched. I wanted you to give this a chance because those
Yeah.
fears you have about a thatch of being perhaps pokey.
Yeah, yeah.
it doesn't really apply.
Yeah.
It looks so lovely.
Yeah, it does.
I love the round bits on the end, you know, and
Oh, it's gorgeous. Let's give it a go.
Shall we?
Yeah, absolutely,
You're
yeah.
up for trying it?
absolutely, yeah.
That's all I wanted to know.
Yeah.
A great reaction to the exterior of our rather cheeky mystery proposition. Built in the 17th century from cobstone and brick, the porched front door of this Grade 2 listed thatched cottage takes us via a hallway into a decidedly spacious reception room. This is the main living room.
Very light and bright.
Yeah.
What a pleasant surprise.
Take it all back. It's really bright.
Yes.
Yeah.
Higher ceilings, I think, than usual on a cottage.
Yep.
Yep. And I like the way they're painted in rather than left dark. It brightens it up.
Good sized windows so that you can see the sun's really coming in.
Was it what you expected?
From a thatched place, no.
No.
No, it's much brighter, much lighter.
Well, this is the older part of the house. Let's
Yep.
take you through into the newer part.
Okay.
New is a comparative concept in this charming period property. Extended in 1949 in order to provide a plumbed kitchen and WC, the space has been sympathetically refitted by the current owners. This is the relatively newer part of the house, the kitchen.
Oh, isn't that lovely? It's really light. So many windows. You couldn't ever call this dark and dingy, could you?
No. Actually, it's good sized table in here. Really, really surprised. Really pleasantly surprised. Hasn't got straw falling off everywhere.
And the floor's all nicely done. It's a lovely country kitchen.
I'm causing problems, aren't I?
Yes.
Giving you too many choices.
You are. You're definitely
Yes.
causing us problems.
Should we go and explore the upstairs?
Lovely.
Oh, yes, please.
Despite Diana and Jonathan's professed wariness of thatched cottages, the proportions of our charming mystery offering are persuading them that period doesn't have to mean pokey. Off the kitchen, there's also a utility and cloakroom, as well as a snug with cast iron stove. An original curved elm staircase takes us up to the 3-bedroom accommodation. A good-sized double is set under the eaves, as is a similarly characterful twin room. There's also a family bathroom, and then the third and largest of the bedrooms. This is the master.
Uh-huh. Gosh, it's all so nice.
Right.
You can lie in bed and look out at the lovely view.
And this room has a wet room.
Oh, I thought it was just wardrobe space. How nicely done.
It's totally different from my experiences of thatched cottages, you know, which have always had the small windows and everywhere is dark inside the house. It's really, really different. Crumbs.
Let's go back downstairs and outside, because
Okay.
we need to discuss the price.
Okay.
Right.
Lovely.
I'm glad to have confounded their expectations of thatched cottages with this bright and spacious mystery house. And outside there's a lot more to show them, with 1/3 of an acre of mainly south-facing secluded grounds surrounded by countryside. There's a rotating summer house and a well-appointed timber cabin, perhaps offering a peaceful spot to sit sewing or writing that latest crime thriller.
How could we not see a Dorset thatch when we're in Dorset? And it's beautiful. It's such a pretty house, and inside does not disappoint.
So it's
lovely.
charmed you both.
It has.
Yeah, it has,
Absolutely.
yep.
Absolutely.
So how much is this charming property on the market for?
Oh, dear. I'm going to go for 520.
Okay, I can't believe it's anywhere near our price range. Again, top end, but I'd say 525.
You've hit the nail on the head.
Oh, well done.
It is on the market for £525,000. The good news is, if you are interested, the owners are willing to take offers. So I think it's attainable, it's achievable.
Yeah.
Have another look around.
Okay, lovely.
Okay, lovely.
Talk about it.
Yep.
Have a think about whether this kind of country-style property is you.
Lovely. Thank you very much.
Thank
I'll
you.
meet you in a bit.
Thank you.
Thank you.
With an asking price somewhat above budget, but room for negotiation, this thatched Grade 2 listed cottage has unexpectedly fulfilled Diana and Jonathan's property wish list. Packed with original features such as fireplaces and a timber staircase, there are 3 bedrooms, including an ensuite. The large grounds are set in beautiful countryside, and there's a choice of versatile outbuildings.
I think I'm far more open now in my views on thatched houses. Because of inside, some of the old timbers really just so beautiful. Nice big garden, set in countryside, really surprised, pleasantly surprised.
It was really pretty, unexpectedly so. So yeah, really pleased with it. It's really given us something to think about. We've seen some fabulous properties, all very different, all meeting what we asked for. So we've now got to make a decision of which one.
Ooh. We better get going because we have so much to discuss.
Yeah.
Where are you both going to live? Choices, choices, choices. It's time to find out if Jonathan and Diana have been able to make a decision about which property to go for. I'm pretty confident at least one of them is still in the running. Hello.
Hello.
I thought it would be lovely to have our chat here on Charmouth Beach, as this could be one of your local beaches.
Yes.
I'd say it's been a successful house hunt, wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
Definitely, definitely.
All of our properties had pretty much everything on your wish list, so now it's just down to just a feeling, perhaps. What do we do now? What do you do now?
What we've decided is that we'd like to make an offer on the house by the sea,
Yeah.
and if the offer isn't accepted, then we'll go for the house on the hill.
Wow,
Yeah.
that sounds like a grand plan.
Yeah. Yeah. We phoned the estate agent about our house and we've reduced the price and we said we need it gone because...
Yes. You want to be in a position to move quickly.
We've just said reduce the price, just do it.
Well, I'm just so pleased for you. Two houses
Yeah.
that you would be very happy in.
Oh, well,
Yeah. Yeah.
That's brilliant news.
We couldn't have asked for more and we're just delighted. We had high hopes, but they were met over and above.
I'm so pleased for you both.
So thank you.
And I
Thank
can't
you.
wait to hear what happens.
Yeah, but thank you very much.
So, the very best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I do love it when a plan comes together, and this plan has a backup plan. How lovely that Jonathan and Diana absolutely love not just one, but 2 of our properties. And I'm so looking forward to hearing the end of this story and finding out where they'll be starting their new life here in Dorset. See you next time on Escape to the Country. Jonathan and Diana put in their offer on the house by the sea, and it was accepted. They're all packed up and ready to fulfill their dream of living near the Dorset coast in the very near future.
These flat, fertile plains were once an ancient woodland surrounded by water, until, that is, they were drained for farming in the 17th century. So, where am I, and which one of the nation's favourite vegetables is produced in these very fields? I'll tell you in just a moment. Today, our house search makes a discovery that's picture perfect. Very pretty, isn't it? If you're going to draw a house, that's how you would draw it. Symmetrical, isn't it?
Appeals to my mathematical bent.
Does it?
Yeah.
But I may have to call time on an area of dispute. Where is the brewing going to take place?
I think the Wendy House.
The Wendy House is now the pub at the end of the garden. That's good, very creative thinking. Today, we're in Cambridgeshire, in the heart of the Fens. This once waterlogged fenland is now home to one of the richest agricultural lands in the whole of Britain, with some of the largest producers of potatoes in the country. Later on in the show, I'll be meeting a farmer whose family have been cultivating the humble spud here in Cambridgeshire for over 200 years. Cambridgeshire is a landlocked county in East Anglia, bordered by 7 counties, including Northamptonshire to the west and Essex to the south. Although cut off from the coast, water plays an important part in the county's landscape and history. The River Cam starts at the university city of Cambridge and runs 14.5 miles north to the Ouse. Punting was introduced here at the beginning of the 20th century and is now a firm Cambridge tradition and a great way to view the historic colleges of one of the most famous universities in the world. Much of the county is flat and low-lying, including the lowest point of the UK at 9 feet below sea level. To the north are the distinct landscapes of the fens, marshy areas reclaimed from the sea in a process of drainage started several centuries ago. Before the successful reclamation of the land, the few hills of the area once acted as islands, often providing sites for places of worship. One such isle was Anglesey. A priory was built here at the time of Henry I, being later converted to a country house in the 16th century and renamed Anglesey Abbey. So whether it's scholarly architecture, unusual rural landscapes or historic homes you're interested in, Cambridgeshire is a fascinating and rewarding county to escape to. Given that London is only around an hour's drive from Cambridgeshire, it comes as no big surprise that property prices here are above the national average, but not by as much as you may expect. £328,000 is the typical price of a detached property here in the county, which is only around 9% above the rest of England and Wales. What's more, if it's the wildlife you're after, then this may be the county for you, because Cambridgeshire is home to some of the most important nature reserves in the whole of the UK, including one of the oldest, Wicken Fen. So, let's meet today's buyers and find out what kind of lifestyle they're hoping to find here. When Dick and Louise chose their Chislehurst semi to the southeast of the capital, it was in a perfect, peaceful location. But as the years have gone by, they felt city life closing in.
It's a lot busier here than it used to be. When we first moved here 30 years ago, it was relatively quiet. You notice there's a lot more traffic, and I think that applies throughout London, not just here.
And of course now we've got the bus coming down the street, which is something that happened 7 or 8 years ago.
Dick has retired from his job in insurance, and their 2 daughters have moved away. They'd like to escape the increasing bustle of London for a quiet life within easy reach of family.
We've been going up to Loughborough for a good 10 years now because the kids were at university. And the notion of moving really started with those journeys. So probably about a couple of years ago, we started playing these games as to where we might like to stop.
And when it comes to where they'd like to stop, the couple have settled on Cambridgeshire.
We quite like the countryside, and we're members of the National Trust and the Royal Horticultural Society. So we're hoping that will initially get us out and about, looking at some of the places. So we're fairly confident that we can find somewhere in that area.
And I think also for me, you're also near to some larger towns, which I think, having spent all my life in London, I think I would miss if they weren't within easy reach.
As well as the culture shock of country life, Louise has some nerves over leaving the family home.
I think I'm more nervous about the move than Dick is, because I didn't work when I had the children, and as such the home has become very much my domain. That's my office space, if you like. And yeah, it would be very, very weird.
But she's hoping the move will give them more time, not only to see family, but to spend on their hobbies.
The thing about moving nearer to our daughter will probably mean that there'll be less overnight stops, so we'll have a little bit more time on our hands. I do some card crafting for families and friends. That's my little hobby, which means I can get out of Dick's hair, if he had any.
I enjoy making beer, making wine, anything alcoholic. I suppose anything that involves a fermentation process. So I'm quite good at making bread now. And when I have a bit more time on my hands, I'll be doing a bit of vegetable gardening. So they're all the, I suppose, fairly standard men crafts.
Most of all, though, it's about starting over in fresh surroundings.
Hopefully it will be really exciting, a new chapter. So everything's going to be new. I suppose it'd be like having a honeymoon all over again.
You'll be after a new kitchen for a start.
Yes.
Dick and Louise are open to living anywhere in the county with access to road links to their family in Loughborough. But before we start looking at houses, we're meeting in Cambridgeshire to discover more about what they're hoping to find. Well, Dick and Louise, welcome to Cambridgeshire. It's a little bit damp, so I've brought you under this gazebo to keep us dry, but we're looking for a new home. It's not going to deter us. Tell me about the house that ideally you're after.
It's got to be light and airy. 3 good-sized bedrooms, and I do crafts, so I want a craft room. Dick likes his office.
Large kitchen?
Large kitchen would be lovely.
And Dick, how important is the garden?
Yeah, a good-sized garden. I'd probably want to do a little bit of veg growing.
And also, you're a bread maker, I understand.
Yeah, well, anything to do with yeast, really. I'm into all sorts of fermentation, and bread is one of them.
So it's a polite way to say he likes brewing beer. I see, I see. This is quite a big property. You're not downsizing, you two, are you?
Not at all.
No,
We don't intend to downsize.
No.
When we're at home together, we need a bit of space.
OK, all right. And what are the things that you have to have, and what are the things that you can live without?
It's really difficult to answer that, really, because I think often you fall in love with a place and it might not necessarily be quite a spec.
Very true. Right, well, let's talk money and remind ourselves of your top budget.
Well, the top budget's 600,000. If you really pushed us and the place was perfect, maybe 625. But we wouldn't mind it if it was a little bit lower.
So £625,000 for that dream perfect home.
Mm-hmm.
OK, all right. Well, are we ready? Because we've got some splendid properties to show you. Should we get going?
Yep.
Come on. For an absolute maximum of £625,000, Dick and Louise's dream Cambridgeshire home would have at least 3 bedrooms, a large kitchen and space for their separate hobbies as well as an office. Plus, the garden should offer enough room for a good-sized vegetable patch. We've lined up a tempting selection of houses with their wish list in mind, and at each they'll be asked to guess the price before I reveal it. The final one, of course, is our mystery house, where our search may be taking on a surprisingly continental flavour. Our property search is heading to the market town of Chatteris. Situated in the Fens, there's been a settlement here since the Neolithic period, and it's claimed to have been a refuge for Boadicea fleeing from the Romans. Facilities include places to eat and drink, a bank, and a hairdresser's that hints at the local sense of humour. The property we've come to view is located in the southern part of the town centre, with a rather grand aspect onto its south-facing rear garden. Well, I've brought you into the garden to start off because I want you to take a look at your property from this angle.
That's beautiful. This is absolutely stunning from the outside.
Just those windows, there's so much light going in there, isn't there? I like the shutters up the top.
It's a good start. Can you believe that it used to be a farmhouse?
No.
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 I think we should take a look inside. Shall we?
idea.
Come on, then.
Let's do that, please.
Built from brick and dating to the middle of the 19th century, at the front of this grand former farmhouse, the impressive elegance continues through an imposing entrance hall and into the front reception room. So impressed with the outside.
Yeah.
Let's see what we think on inside.
That's enormous. It's beautiful.
It's good size, isn't it?
It's lovely.
That is period, yeah.
It does look very grand.
Impressive, yes.
Impressive,
It is an
yeah.
impressive property. So you have this as one of your drawing rooms. You've got the same size again next door. You talked about escaping from each other in your property. You've got plenty of room here. And you've got a study across the way with the downstairs cloakroom. But let's see what you think of the kitchen. If you'd like to follow me. Now, I think this is one of the most important rooms in the whole house, the kitchen.
It's lovely. Really nice. Nice big space for the table.
And look at that
2,
sink.
4, 6.
Now, have you ever seen a sink like that?
No, not with feet like that.
Oh, the owner thinks it's an original. So it's about 160, 170 years old.
Really?
Yeah. You do have access outside, the side door. If you look through, we've got some windows here leading out into the garden, but you've also got a massive conservatory there, which they're using as a games room at the moment.
Could use it for anything, really.
Yeah.
This beautifully presented period home also boasts a sizable cellar, perfect for home brewer Dick. And completing this floor is a hobby room, which could be put to use as a ground floor guest room. But I suspect they'll find more than enough accommodation upstairs, where there are no fewer than 6 bedrooms. A large family bathroom with roll-top bath and separate shower serves all of the rooms, along with an additional cloakroom. To the front of the property, a large double has interlinking doors through 2 smaller rooms, one of which currently sits empty and the other features a bay window. Behind these lies a further double. Yet another double is reached via its own small flight of stairs, and then there's bedroom number 6, which I think Dick and Louise could turn into their master.
It's a lovely size room.
Yeah, lovely.
Not only does it have an ample size, but through this wall, there's some stairs on the other side. You could easily open it up, sacrifice a bedroom, and make it an ensuite.
OK.
All right.
Which might be quite nice for the 2 of you. Because this house has 6 bedrooms in total.
I'm thinking it might be too big.
Really?
I don't know.
So you set us a challenge. Right, well, I think we should head back downstairs and we can talk about what sort of price you think it's on the market for. Dick, I'd like you to lead the way, please.
OK, right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dick and Louise seem somewhat intimidated by the sheer scale of what's on offer here, which is a shame, because there's a lot more outside. This former farmhouse comes with a range of period outbuildings, including garages, workshops, and the old Apple store.
All of this is included.
Honestly.
Yes, honestly. So for your craft, you could have a whole area. We could have a microbrewery for you, Dick.
Yeah, you could.
And ample parking for you and all the family and all your friends.
We could probably live in there.
In the substantial walled front garden, there are alfresco seating areas and a veranda from which to admire the mature shrubs and trees.
A large garden, sunshine all afternoon on a good day.
Yeah, good size.
Manageable?
garden. I think so.
Yes,
Yeah,
most
I think
certainly.
so.
Yeah. Well, let's see if you can afford this property.
Yeah.
Can you put a price on this magnificent home?
I think it's got to start with a 6. Let's say 625.
OK. So right at the top of your budget.
I think it's over budget. I think it's 650.
OK. Well, the asking price is £635,000. However, we've spoken to the owner and she assured me that she's happy to talk in the region of your top budget.
Definitely food for thought.
Yeah. Have that in your minds. Go and have another look around.
So much
and in
to
about
look at.
3 hours, I think I'll come and find you. Be my guest.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because this property, you know, does give them what they ask for. Really high ceilings, beautiful airy spaces, this wonderful garden. And the thing which I think is so appealing is where it's situated, in a market town. When you're used to living in the city, it can be a huge adjustment to move to the country. Here, they have the best of both worlds.
Pushing their top budget at £635,000, this substantial former Victorian farmhouse has 2 very large reception rooms, a kitchen diner, 6 bedrooms and a range of brick outbuildings.
I absolutely love the house. I think it's gorgeous. I love the style of large rooms, the big ceilings.
Seeing the house, I thought, wow. It looked huge to me. The garden is just right. There's so much to like about this place.
So which one's going to be your brewery then?
Oh, it's
got
to be that one there.
And then you've still got all these left.
I know, well...
You've got plans for all these outbuildings, have you?
No.
That's it now.
It's
Tour
enormous.
over. Should we hit the road?
OK,
Okay.
let's go.
All right then.
Keeping water at bay to provide land for crops such as wheat dominated agriculture for much of Cambridgeshire's history. But when it came to turning that wheat into flour, water power was positively embraced via the technology of the mill. and we've arranged for Louise and keen home baker Dick to see that power in action with a visit to the watermill at Anglesey Abbey. Now in the care of the National Trust, volunteer Roy Smith is on hand to show them how this historic building continues to produce wholemeal flour the traditional way.
Hi, hello.
Okay, welcome to Low Mill. And welcome to you. Okay.
Thank you. So, Roy, why is the mill so special?
Because it's been here for 270 years. It was built in 1745, still running today very much as it did on day one. There's been milling in this country since Roman times, tended to be water mills in the early days, and windmills came onto the scene in the late 12th century.
So what's the benefit of watermill over windmill?
Windmills are subject to the vagaries of the English climate, really, and sometimes the wind is too strong, not strong enough. Water lets us run every day of the year. Last autumn we had about 10 days when we couldn't actually run because the water level was quite low. But most of the time we've got plenty of water.
So I've just recently got into bread making. It'd be lovely to get inside and see how the flour's made.
Once grinding out 20 tonnes of flour a week, the mill was converted for cement making at the beginning of the 20th century. Fully restored to its original use in the 1980s, it now produces a modest 10 tonnes of flour a year. That's enough to allow visitors to see the flour-making process without too much wear and tear. And that process starts with the opening of the sluice gates.
OK, Dick, every schoolboy's dream now. I'm going to let you turn the wheel on, so... OK?
Lovely, thanks.
Oh, dear.
Just one turn of the sluice gate wheel and the water stored in the mill pond flows at 10 tonnes per minute, filling buckets on the water wheel and causing it to turn.
Now we can go upstairs and see the stones in action, OK?
OK.
As grains of wheat pour down, the power of the water wheel is used to turn the millstones producing flour. Today, the gears are set at 60 turns per minute, but in its heyday, the mill would have worked the stones up to 150 turns per minute, which would have been even noisier.
So I'm surprised how quickly that turns it into flour.
Yeah, no, it's instantaneous, really. Once the grain starts dropping down into the gap between the stones, the wheat is crushed and flour starts dropping down the chute and is collected in the sack underneath. It's an instantaneous process, really.
Yeah,
so,
very quick.
Today's wheat is brought in from Hertfordshire. The traditional Derbyshire grit millstones have also been swapped for much hardier millstones imported from a disused mill in Portugal, which are much better suited to grinding today's softer grained wheat.
OK, so this is the flour that we've just produced. It's a lovely stone ground wholemeal flour, lovely soft. You should have a feel.
Oh, yeah.
We don't add anything, we don't take anything away, so it's pure, unadulterated flour from organic wheat. So we like to think it's actually better quality than you can buy in supermarkets. I've got a bag of flour here, Dick. I know you're into your bread making, so I'd like to present it to you.
Thank you.
Don't go away and use it wisely, and enjoy the rest of your explorations, OK?
Thank you. Thanks very much.
Well, Dick's bread baking will have to wait because our search for their Cambridgeshire country home resumes tomorrow. We're helping retirees Dick and Louise swap life in London for a home in the Cambridgeshire countryside. With a budget of up to £625,000, we've already shown them some wonderful property. But there's more to see, including our mystery house, which might just prove more of a puzzle than we bargained for.
What is it?
What is it?
I've had lots of comments in the past. I don't think I ever had that one.
Plus, I visit a local potato farm for a snack break that's a real taste of home.
Can I smell it?
Yeah, please do. It smells of sausages, doesn't it?
It does. It smells like my mother's cooking. We've got two fabulous properties to show Dick and Louise, but I'm hoping we can tempt them today with our mystery house, which has a certain je ne sais quoi about it. Watch this space and all will be revealed. In the meantime, do wish me bon chance, as I'm hoping at least one of our properties that we're going to show them will have Dick and Louise reaching for their chequebook.
The village of Warboys is the location of our first house today. Amenities here include a pub, post office and store, and a chemist. Just an 8-minute drive away is the small market town of Ramsey, where the remains of a Benedictine abbey, the origins of the settlement, can still be seen. Back in Warboys, our next house enjoys a historic position on the village high street.
So new day, new property. Well, it looks like a cottage, but in actual fact, quite a large house.
Is it?
It's very charming.
Looks lovely from the front.
Yeah. Looks in very good condition.
Yeah. Very pretty, isn't
Yeah,
it?
very.
If you're going to
It is very
draw a
pretty.
house, that's how you would draw it. Symmetrical, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah, it is.
Appeals
Yeah,
to
it's
my
lovely.
mathematical bent.
Does it?
Yeah,
OK, well, should we step inside and take a look around?
too.
lovely.
Dating back to 1801, this Grade 2 listed property was once a bakery, with its former bakehouse located to the rear, meaning that whilst the frontage may look symmetrical, the footprint is a little more unusual. An entrance to the side leads via a lobby and hall to the kitchen diner at the heart of the home.
This is lovely. A really nice sized kitchen.
Yeah, it's a super size.
Yeah, plenty of storage.
Because kitchen's close to your heart, aren't they? You want the right kitchen.
I think
looks
it's very
good.
nice.
It's large enough to take a huge dining
Yeah.
table for the family.
Like the kitchen?
Yeah.
Very
So
good
far,
start.
so good.
Very good
So
start.
far, so good. So let's
Always.
keep going through, see what you make of the next room.
Off the kitchen there's a utility room, and to the front of the property, the first of the generously proportioned reception rooms.
So here is our sitting room, or your drawing room, whichever you prefer.
That's not a bad size.
I think it's a good size, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Impressive wood burner.
I like wood burners, and I'm quite used to cleaning them as well. We'd be very comfortable in here.
Yeah, homely.
Definitely homely.
This could be a nice little snug for us. All we need is 4 bedrooms upstairs, and you've got us sorted.
Oh, can I deliver on that for you? Look, I'm smiling. I'm giving too much away. Let's go and have a look.
Next to this reception room is another currently used as a study, and to the rear of the property, the former bakehouse provides yet another, even larger reception, as well as a cloakroom. Not only that, upstairs this property trumps the 4 bedrooms Dick's hoping for by offering 5. Situated to the front, there's a good-sized guest double, next to which is a single and a further double. Behind this is the 4th and smallest of the guest rooms. These are all served by a family bathroom. Lastly, to the rear of the home is a spacious master ensuite.
This is good space. Lovely wardrobes. Plenty of wardrobes.
And if you notice there's a
It's
door
very good.
behind us, you've actually got a shower.
Bonus.
Yeah?
Yeah.
More than you were after?
Yeah.
Yeah,
2
but
reception rooms.
just a little bit.
Yeah. I know you two want space. So plenty for the children and friends come to stay, but also for your own hobbies and crafts.
We're warming to this.
Yeah? Well, there is more to show you outside. So, Dick, if you wouldn't mind leading the way.
Okay.
It seems this period property goes the extra mile when it comes to delivering what Dick and Louise have asked for, and the outside is no exception. There's ample hard standing for several cars, plus a large barn-style garage and workshop. A fully enclosed rear garden with planted beds and well-maintained lawn includes a glass house and a little summer house.
So you actually have quite a substantial amount of land from that back door.
This looks manageable, though.
Yeah.
And that greenhouse looks wonderful. I think it is a recipe to get my green fingers out again. Yeah.
Where is the brewing going to take place? That's what I want to know.
I think the Wendy House.
The Wendy
That'll be
House is now the pub at the end of the garden. That's good, very creative thinking. Well, we've seen the house, we've seen the garden. We've now got to decide what it's on the market for. You're looking at me with dread in your eyes.
I'm going to be optimistic and say 595.
OK.
I think I'd go a little bit lower than that. I'll probably go about 570.
OK. Well, you're both out. The owner's asking offers in excess of £500,000. It just demonstrates, if you look around, you can get quite a lot for your money. It's going to give you something to think about.
Definitely.
Now you know that price, reacquaint yourself with the property. Houses always look different when they're under budget, and I'll catch up with you when you're ready.
Thanks.
Right, thank you.
Thank you.
Below budget at an incredible £125,000, this Grade 2 listed former bakery has a kitchen diner and 3 additional reception rooms. There are 5 bedrooms, including a master ensuite, a large garage and workshop, as well as a low maintenance garden with a glass house.
This is a lovely, spacious house. It's got so many rooms, it's unbelievable. I think it's very easy to imagine yourself living here. Kitchen I like as well, which is an added bonus. So I don't think we'd need to sort of touch anything for some time.
There's lots of things to like about this property. It's got a good balance of rooms, both downstairs and upstairs. I think it's a strong possibility, this place.
I wonder if a second look around, knowing that price, has warmed them up a bit. Well, they're taking their time, so that could be a good sign. All finished?
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, seen everything?
Yes, thank you.
Happy?
Yep.
Right, let's go.
Much of the current farmland of Cambridgeshire was once covered by seawater and bog oak. Attempts to drain it began in earnest in the 1600s, taking over 2 centuries of effort before the rich soil known as black gold emerged. Ross Taylor's family have worked the earth here at Willow Farm near Ely since 1860. Their 500 acres produce prize-winning potatoes along with other root vegetables. But the last decade has also seen them setting up their very own crisp factory, and Ross has agreed to tell me why.
Hi, Ross.
Hi, Nikki.
Now, I've never seen soil like this before, but what's so special about this area?
The reason why we can produce these potatoes is down to our beautiful black peaty soil.
Now, you say it's peaty, so why is it like this?
Thousands of years of organic material and bog oak, and we've been left with this beautiful soil for our beautiful potatoes to grow in.
I love that, beautiful soil, beautiful spuds. So this region is renowned for its potatoes, which we've got one here. So why did you decide to diversify and go into crisps?
The recession came along in 2008, and we decided we couldn't carry the farm on any longer, relying on the markets that we'd always traded with, so we needed to do something with the product ourselves.
So really, was it that tough for you as a farmer?
Oh, it was terrible. We'd lost our Irish market, which we supplied all my father's career. It was either do something different or give the farm up.
So the crisp came to the rescue?
Yeah, we never tried crisp before with our product, and we took them to a crisp expert, and they tried them, and they couldn't believe the quality of our product. And so we decided that was the way forward for us in the future.
So all your potatoes converted into crisps come from the land that we can see around us?
Literally from 100 yards of our factory.
Is that your factory there?
Yeah, it is.
I think you know where I'm going, to see where these crisps are produced. Ross, thank you so much. I'll leave you with your spuds. I'll let you carry that.
OK,
thank you.
The farm's factory is where the potatoes are washed, sliced, cooked and flavoured before being bagged and boxed. It's a speedy process that turns the crop in the field into crisps that are ready to leave in an average of just 40 minutes. The farm currently makes 7 flavours of potato crisps and 3 varieties of vegetable ones, but today the plan is to add another to the slate. Ross's friend and fellow crisp entrepreneur, Rod Garner, has developed a new flavour for us to try.
Now, talking about flavours, when I was growing up, I think there were only 2 available, cheese and onion and salt and vinegar.
Yes, there's more and more demand for more adventurous flavours, so that's what we've been developing as a company. We go out to Ely and Cambridge, our local cities, and we'll stand in the middle of the square and ask, what sort of tickles your taste buds, really.
So the people of Cambridgeshire decide what the rest of us are going to eat?
Exactly, yeah.
Well, when we were talking about actually coming here, they said to me, if you could come up with any variety, what would it be? What would be your taste? And I said, because I'm a classy bird, bangers and mash.
Yep.
Is that a good or a bad one?
No, I think that's a good one. It's funny you should say that, because we developed this, which is a bangers and mash flavour.
Can I smell it?
Yeah, please do. It smells of sausages, doesn't it?
It does. It smells like my mother's cooking.
The flavours are made to order by a specialist nearby company using natural local ingredients where possible before being added to the crisps at the factory.
OK, I think that's we're ready for a taste.
Here we go. Ready?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's pretty good, actually.
that is good.
Right, it's good.
That reminds me of home cooking, but there's something else in there. What have you added?
Put a little bit of mustard in there because, in my mind, if you're going to have bangers and mash, you can have a bit of mustard on the side.
Gives it that
can you
type of
taste
kick.
it?
You can.
It's good, isn't it?
I might have to try one more. Listen to that crunch.
It's good, isn't it?
Oh, that is delicious.
We might have to launch that. What would we call it, though?
Chappers, bangers and mash.
Oh, that sounds good. Chappers, bangers and mash.
Who would have thought an economic crisis would turn some humble Cambridgeshire spuds into a gourmet crisp? And if I ever fancy a taste of Mum's cooking, well, who knows? I may just be able to eat a packet soon.
One more. It'd be rude not to. You better take those away from me. I'll eat the whole lot.
Our mystery offering is located close to the village of Pondersbridge. Facilities are found in the nearby ancient Fenland market town of Whittlesea and include butchers and pubs. At the centre of the marketplace is a 17th century covered butter cross, where local dairy produce was once bought and sold. Fresh eggs, milk and butter would have been laid out for display on the stepped bases of the cross. The structure was considered useless in the 19th century and only saved from demolition when a local businessman donated slate tiles for the roof. Before the fens were drained in the 18th and 19th century, this settlement was effectively an island surrounded by water. It's now an 8-minute drive across dry land to our mystery property in the midst of open countryside.
So, our final offering is the most unusual one. Welcome to your mystery house.
What is it?
What is it?
I've had lots of comments in the past. I don't think I ever had that one. It is a house. Next door, the chimney that you can actually see was the old pumping station, which has been converted into another property. It's not actually attached to this. This is your mystery house. It's not only a very unusual property inside, but also it's the most rural location, surrounded by fields. So I'm not going to lie, no shops, no amenities on your doorstep with the mystery house.
It looks very impressive from the outside. I've probably got an open mind until I get inside.
Have you?
I wouldn't necessarily say it's the most attractive building I've seen, but yeah, space-wise, I suspect it's there.
Ready to get inside?
Yeah, indeed.
Let's go this way.
Our unique mystery house was built in 2004, inspired by a pair of arched glass doors from a chateau in the Loire Valley. The solid oak entrance door is also from France, and the continental ambience continues through into the professionally designed interior.
I don't think you're going to have seen anything like it.
Definitely not. This is enormous. How high are these ceilings?
Have a guess how high that ceiling is.
15 feet?
Not bad. 12. You do get the feeling you're in a French chateau, don't you?
With those doors.
And the curtains actually help. Yeah.
Not what you'd expect in Cambridgeshire.
No, I don't think you would.
And look at that fabulous fireplace, 17th century. That came from France as well.
I'm just blown away by the size, really. I mean, it's vast.
It is vast.
Isn't it?
We'd have to bend our minds as to what we do with it.
Rather than have 2 or 3 sitting rooms, we've just got this one open space. And then just leading off here is the kitchen.
Also off this large central reception room is an orangery. Featuring those inspirational Loire Valley doors, it's currently used as a music room.
So, we have a separate kitchen, but it still contains that open plan feel.
It's a bit galley-ish to me.
Yeah. So, although what they've done is beautifully fitted, and you've actually got this trough sink.
Yeah, which is quite useful.
Yeah.
Yeah, lovely beams up top. I'm not too sure it's really big enough.
It isn't huge, I can't lie, but what you do have is a utility room next door. You've got your white goods in there, and then through there you actually have a wet room. So on this floor, you've also, unusually, got the master bedroom as well.
Downstairs?
Downstairs. Should we take a look?
Yeah. Yes.
Let's go through the kitchen this way.
A mixed response to the living space of this quirky recent build, which offers a total of 4 bedrooms. A guest single is also found off the entrance hall on the ground floor, while spiral stairs in the reception room lead to a landing and 2 large guest doubles, both with skylight windows and one with an ensuite shower room. Then, back on the ground floor, is the impressive master ensuite.
Another splendid room.
This must be the master.
Yes.
It's huge.
Beautiful large ensuite.
Yes.
Okay.
This, I'm thinking, would be yours.
It's a lovely, lovely, light, spacious room.
I'm quite keen to take you back outside, a little bit more to show you. And for the last time, I'm going to ask you, yes, to put a price on it. Oh, don't look so
Your
worried.
favourite part.
Dick and Louise have asked for space, and the mystery house certainly delivers it in spades, both inside and out. With a plot of almost 3/4 of an acre, the wraparound decking provides somewhere to enjoy the very peaceful surroundings. There's a greenhouse in need of some TLC, as well as a massive barn which has both power and water and could brew Dick's interests.
So I'm thinking workshops, brewery.
Yeah, possibly, yeah.
Have we surprised you?
Yes. Yes, I'm a bit speechless, I think, really. But
It's certainly challenged us. It's not something we'd ever dreamed of looking at.
no.
It's a fair proposition.
Let's just talk the finances, shall we? What do you think the current asking price is?
I don't know, I'll go for about $5.25, I think.
All right. Louise?
I'm not too sure, really. It's got a lot of land. I think I might go higher than Dick, so I'll probably say $5.50.
Oh, you're actually the closest because it's on the market for £554,950.
Okay.
Yeah, not surprised.
It is a unique property. Do you fancy having another look around?
Yes,
On
please.
your own?
Yeah, we'll have a
It's
little
the
look.
last time I'm going to say it.
Okay.
Go and have a wander around the mystery house once more.
OK, thank you.
Thank you.
With an asking price £70,000 below budget, this chateau-inspired new build features a large open-plan living space, 4 bedrooms including 2 en-suites, and almost 3/4 of an acre of grounds in very rural surroundings.
I think it's an extraordinary property. It's got some beautiful features. Really
Lovely
quite
bit
amazing.
upstairs for the family and so on. Wonderful bedroom.
Yep.
And you
A bit
lose yourself in the
storage.
bathroom,
Yeah.
don't you?
I think it's been quite interesting seeing this because I suppose it's so much out of what we would envisage.
This room is absolutely amazing, isn't it? With the 17th century fireplace, the open windows, the high ceilings, very versatile in terms of how you can use it. The open planness is something that doesn't quite work for us, even though I think it's perhaps opened our minds a little bit to it. Don't necessarily want to be this far out in the country, do we?
No, maybe not.
It has helped concentrate our minds on what we like and what we don't like.
That is it, the end of all our house tours. Enjoyed it?
Very much so.
Yeah?
Yeah, very much so.
Do you want some time to have a think amongst yourselves what your next move's going to be?
Yep.
OK, come on. So, out of all the properties we showed Dick and Louise, I think one of them stands a fighting chance of a revisit. But I'm just wondering whether Cambridgeshire as a county is going to get a second viewing. Let's find out. Well, Dick and Louise, we've certainly travelled around this county, haven't we? So let's talk about the actual houses that you've seen. And for me, there's one that stands out. I think it was that very old property with the bakery at the back. Would I be right?
You would be.
Ah, good. So, Dick, what was it about that property that so appealed to you?
It was the one that was nearest to what we really wanted in terms of blueprint, footprint, whatever you want to call it. You know, it had a nice bit of character to it and had a combination of rooms that we still haven't worked out exactly what we'd like to do with them, but it sort of covers all occasions.
So, probably the most important question, do you think you're going to go back for a second viewing?
I would certainly like to go back and have a look.
I think so.
Yeah.
Louise, I'm going to ask you a question. You've loved living in London, born and bred in London. Have you come to terms with the idea of actually leaving the city and moving away?
I think so. I mean, I suppose the proof of the pudding will be is when you make the decision on the house. Yeah, it's going to be a big wrench.
Do you think we can put a time frame on this move, wherever you decide to go? I just wondered if in your mind you were thinking 2 months, 6 months, a year?
Oh, I don't know.
I think we'd like to be gone within a year.
Yeah.
I'd like to think we wouldn't still be looking in a year.
At Christmas, you'll be in your new home.
Yeah.
Well, all the very best, and I expect to hear an update on where you're at very soon. Thank you both so much.
Thank you.
Many thanks, Nikki.
Now, if I'm honest, it's not the easiest thing in the world showing a couple a county which, well, they really don't know very well. But I think what we've achieved over the last few days is a fantastic cross-section of properties to tempt Dick and Louise. Now, personally, I really do hope they go for that second viewing of that splendid house with the old bakery at the back, because, well, what it will give them is the community they're going to need, the space they say they require, and at a price that will give them the scope to make those adjustments so they can have their perfect home. Whatever they decide to do, we wish them all the very best of luck. And I'll see you again on Escape to the Country.
If you would like to escape to the country in Northern Ireland, Scotland, Wales or England and need our help, please apply online at bbc.co.uk/be on a show.